Matthew, you went to the Daytona show. Why'd you go down there?
Yes. I got to admit, mainly it was to hear my good friend Michael Fatsmaswali speak.
Gesundheit.
I love Michael. And I've never been to Daytona, knowing that he was going to be there. A good friend of mine, Jeff Gasparic, was going to be there. Was going to be there.
Kyle's
we're in a little group chat, and hey Kyle. I didn't want to pack. I've never been to Daytona, and obviously that's where turtle lovers want to be. So I was able to take some time off work, and my wife didn't mind being alone with all the kids, and was able to fly down. And Mark Da Silva was there as well. We shared a room.
Nice.
Got to see Russ. Got to see
Russ Gurley.
A bunch of people that from Russ Gurley. It was just nice to see a lot of people that I also see at TTPG, which is a very important part of my life. So it was awesome going down and listening to Michael. I can pronounce the name. He gave a talk on.
So I want to stop you there for a second. So it's the Daytona. It's the Daytona Reptile show, but before the show happens, and it's not well advertised, on Friday night, there's a series of talks from speakers about turtles. So that's what you're talking about. So Michael spoke.
Yep.
And tell us about.
There was 3 speakers that night. Michael was the first to speak. The Black Marsh turtle, which is a phenomenal turtle, not at all. But hearing him discuss them, Russ had helped him out a lot with the group that he's got, and he's raising some up that he had a group and they went to Russ, and just hearing that I guess that's one of the other things I took away from Michael's talk, specifically was Michael collaborated with several people to get where he's at today, and he had special thanks to a couple people. I know Kevin Mento was in there, and Russ Gurley was in there. That's so important in the hobby. We've got to collaborate. It's key if we want to succeed, if we want to expand our groups, if we want to get different bloodlines. It's all in networking and getting to know people, developing relationships. I think being able to go to different conferences, whether it be TSA, which you had just gone to, which is PG, which I haven't been to TSA, so I can't speak personally, but I would love to go one day. For TTPG, I recommend anybody go to it. You're not going to find a more welcoming group of people, more knowledgeable group of people, and a group of people more willing to share knowledge and give you assistance on how to do things better, give you different ideas. It's amazing when you let go of your ego a little bit and allow yourself to ask questions to different people, and learn proper ways of doing things that you may not have could work. But yeah, it's a great talk. But going back to Michael's thing, a little off topic there, but it was really interesting hearing him discuss his ups and downs with it and how long he's been keeping them, and some of the hardships and struggles, and then finally the success, which I think can really be said about a lot of species that we keep. It's a pretty common experience to have some success and then not have any success, and then struggle along the way and get some help along the way. So it kind of hit close to heart, I think, for a lot of people, at least, that was in the audience. Then the next speaker was Kevin Inge, who spoke about alligator snapping turtles, which was really interesting hearing him talk about the different waterways and the way they were doing trapping and what they were finding. Then came Eric Goode, who discussed.
Let's back up a little bit. Many people know who Eric Goode is, but maybe not everybody knows who Eric Goode is, but they might know who he is. They don't realize they know who he is. So tell us a little bit about him first.
Yeah. He, I don't know if you'd say wrote, although I think probably some of it was scripted. Tiger King, he produced it, directed it, went into it, the exotic animal hobby, and that kind of spun off into what it did, unintentionally, he'll say, honestly. And he is currently doing I do not believe it's called Lizard King. I think they changed the name of it to something else, but I think it was going to be called Lizard King at one point.
There was a
he's
book
doing a documentary on
Lizard King.
Yes, there was a book called Lizard King, which I think that's why he switched the name of it. But he's basically doing for reptiles and the exotic pets what he did for Tiger King. It's going to be on HBO this time, not Netflix.
Interesting.
But
now, did he tell you? Did he give that information at the talk? Did he actually talk about the documentary?
Yes.
Okay.
He's discussed it as if he was reliving his experience and how he kind of got started, how he's one of us. He really tried to present himself as a private keeper when he's anything but a private keeper. It was everyone that I spoke with that was in the audience all kind of agreed it felt very disingenuous. It felt rehearsed, not in the way that you prepare for a speech, but rehearsed as in, I'm going to watch what I say exactly because I want to make sure that I don't tip them off to any real intentions. I don't want to miss out opportunities for what could come of this. I legitimately, I'm worried. There are certain people in the hobby, some that I respect greatly, some that I admire, that have opened their doors to him, allowed him to come out to their facility and spend hours there.
And with cameras.
Yeah. The issue I have with that is they're not going to paint the narrative. He is going to paint the narrative. Something people do not consider with someone like Eric Goode and someone in this situation is, in order for him to make this new thing succeed, it has to be as big, as dramatic, as catching as Tiger King.
Yeah.
He's got to have stuff just as explosive. If he doesn't, he's not going to hold that in. I feel he's going to twist a lot of things to fit his agenda. I'm going to paint certain people that I do respect greatly in a very bad light. Whereas right now, I think they feel that they're going to appear as the good guy, as the hero of the story, and that's not how he's going to paint it. I fear.
I don't know, Matthew. If you've watched Tiger King, it's hard for me to believe that everybody feels that way. I mean, I can understand, kind of like I can be the one that really will show them I'm not crazy, but I mean, Tiger King, it's just he just makes everybody look bad. That's the whole point
Yeah,
of that movie. So,
but there were other
when's
people
it?
in that. I do think that he's going to look for a Joe Exotic type of character. I don't think he's going to be able to find that in the turtle and tortoise community. He most
Totally.
likely will be able to find that in the other reptiles. I think, I think there's already people out there that are, I don't remember the guy's name because I don't respect him whatsoever.
Yeah, we don't. So,
Yeah,
what are the
he's already got
details?
some.
Yeah.
What's that?
What are the did he talk about when it's going to be ready to be
Mm,
consumed?
I do not
Cuz I've
believe
I've
he
heard
discussed
different
any
rumors.
day.
I mean, I've heard at the end of the year maybe this might be out, but nothing like that, huh?
I don't remember him mentioning anything as far as release dates. There were other
Okay.
people in the comments that
Yeah.
were there. If they remember hearing it, let us know. But I don't remember him saying a specific release date um, or discussing any actual details like that. Um, I think I think there were people that were really, really big in the reptile community in the 80s and 90s. They were the person to go to. They were the person who could get anything that you wanted. And they had, they were the reptile gods. And they loved that um, notoriety. But they've lost that since then. I don't think that they're respected like they once were in the hobby, mainly because of the activities that they involved themselves in getting a lot of these animals. I think there was a big turn more towards conservation, especially in the turtle and tortoise community. Um, and when that happened, a lot of those guys lost a lot of respect. A lot of those guys are involved in this and opening their arms to him to come in. Um, uh, those people, in my opinion, are have not learned to master their ego and have allowed him into their home to flatter his ego, um, and maybe feel important again. And I think that's going to come back to bite him big time.
It's going to be really interesting. Michael says that he does not believe a release date was shared. Um, so he was the last talk of the night. He had a camera
Yeah,
crew with him. Did he interview any people?
he tried to
Yeah.
many people. He was able to get He was able to get some things that he wanted. Things like Mark Cantos. Although I completely agree with what he said.
Mark Cantos
Um,
owns the Turtle Source and
yeah,
GCBG member.
and at the end of Eric's talk, he opened it up for questions, and Mark didn't have a question; he just had a comment. And although I
I bet he
completely
did.
agreed, he basically told Eric kind of what he thought of him and what most of us think of him. But after that, not too many people were taking any questions. We were all just kind of, oh my god,
Awkward moment.
yeah, yeah.
Let's move on
So
and get to the show the next day, probably.
yeah. Well, and so the next day, he, as you're walking around the expo, he did have cameras set up where he was trying to interview people, which I think, from what I saw, most people who were intelligent, when they turned down the aisle and saw the camera, they turned around and walked the other way. They didn't want to do with it, which I think was great. I think, I think it's really good that a lot of people were giving them the cold shoulder, because that's honestly the best thing that we can do as a community. Um, I at least on the turtle and tortoise side. If anything good comes out of this, maybe it's that and it's nothing against other reptile people, but there is a difference. I've got friends that are all into snakes and lizards and no turtles, and they'll tell you there's a difference. Maybe we'll come out of it looking maybe a little bit better. I just can't seem to. It's like saying to people who keep, I don't even want to compare anything to. Yeah.
The Asian turtle and tortoise crisis, really the Asian turtle crisis really hit hard, right? Pretty early. And so, for the past 20 years, we've been very conscious about what we're doing. That certainly doesn't mean things haven't happened since then.
Right.
Patrick's a little late tonight. He said he's got called into work, and Greg Brashear's here. He wished he would have made it to see Kevin Enge's talk, or Enge. I don't know how to say that, but
there's an E on the.
I bet Greg does.
IE on the one I've got.
Okay.
No, and Greg, I was thinking about you almost the entire time I was listening to him talk. I was like, oh man. And you know what? Heck, I should have videotaped it for you. I'm sorry, bud. That would have been a good one to actually videotape.
Who sets up these talks?
Wayne Hill runs the entire thing, and this is kind of his thing to set up. I know somebody had said Russ Gurley's involved. I'm not sure about that.
I might have said that.
I don't know if he's involved.
I bet Michael knows.
There. Yeah, Michael will know.
Tell us who Wayne Hill is.
So I love Wayne Hill because his last name, my last name's Hills, and he's a legend. And sometimes people will just assume that we're related, even though I have an S, which that's a mistake that I don't like to correct because he's awesome. Wayne Hill bought, from my understanding, he bought a fish farm down in Florida decades ago and turned it into a turtle facility. They've bred some of the most amazing turtles and tortoises in the world, mainly turtles. They just have some Nile flat shell or soft shells. They are one of the, if not, they are the largest contributor, in my opinion, to the Indian spotted repopulation program, whatever you want to call it. The event that got them from minuscule numbers to massive numbers. He's been able to hatch some amazing things down there. He's extremely experienced with a lot of exotic things, and he's been doing this for a long time. He's been running the show for 30 years or something like that, I think. And so he's been into turtles, I think, for 50 or 60, 70 years. I mean, he's a legend.
Do you think he's the largest producer of pet grade turtles in the country? I mean, there's all of these farms in Louisiana that do sliders and map turtles and things like that. But so that's one question. And then why don't we hear about him? Where are his turtles going? Is he wholesaling them, or does he sell to other retailers?
So the first question is, as far as some of the turtle farms go, I don't really know their numbers. And I don't personally,
hundreds of thousands.
Yeah. I don't necessarily count them as,
I don't really either, because they're breeding for food. They're breeding for export to Asia.
Well, and they're breeding one or two species.
Yeah, totally.
If you've got 3,000 common snapping turtles or 3,000 sliders, okay, that's one thing. You can set things up at a massive scale to handle that one thing. Wayne doesn't do that. I mean, Wayne does a massive scale, but sorry, I was reading that.
Yeah, of course.
Wayne.
Thanks, Michael.
Wayne. Yeah, thank you, Michael. Wayne does a lot of different species. He doesn't specialize in one or another. He's kind of working with, or putting a lot of effort towards stuff that needs more attention, stuff that's not necessarily the most attention grabbing for the pet trade, because they're not going to necessarily bring a high dollar, or they're restricted and you can't ship them across state lines for sale, which has led to a lot of donations from him to the Chelonia propagation program with the TTPG. That is an awesome thing. I think Wayne, I'm not even sure that even put a dent in the number that he produces a year. He's so dialed in with those. But he donated a ton of Indian spotted turtles, Chelonia hamiltoni, this year to the program, and did extremely well with them. Hold on one second.
You see my orange shoes?
No. Sorry.
No worries.
So
he's one of the biggest turtle producers in the country of the most turtles of the most species, and then he also produces this show. So
yes.
That's my phone now going on. Can you buy turtles from Wayne Hill at the show?
Yes. Joel, he runs a booth there that has all of Wayne's turtles. He's got Mexican box turtles, North American spotted turtles, Indian spotted turtles, just some unbelievably crazy stuff that you just don't see very often. A lot of long necks, a lot. It's a joy to be able to go and see. To be honest with you, and that's one thing I commented on with the Daytona Expo a couple times.
You're breaking up a little bit, Matthew, so I'm gonna jump in here. And now he froze to me.
And
so
the last 3 or 4 expos that
keep going. You're good.
There. Okay.
Yep. Keep going. Yep.
Just the show to see in Daytona, it's far greater than used to, and that's local. I've been to 10 years ago. I've been to all the ones local around Indiana. I'm gonna plan on going to some in Ohio here soon. Now that I know that they're like every. I've been to Phoenix. This by far blew it out of the water. Not even any comparison. And you can. There's probably most of the things on there were probably at the expo.
So
incredible.
So Wayne has a table. Does his business have a name that we would know, or not really? Matthew's frozen.
Okay, so
now you're back.
Michael O. Okay. People that I knew there, Dan Pearson, Michael Ogle, Luis, which now I'll forget his last name. Paul Vandershaw had a nice booth. Mom had the one right behind him. Pete with Waterland Tubs had one. TTPG had a booth, of course. So I'm trying to think who else. Yeah, the
Turtle Source.
Several right there, but the Turtle Source, of course.
Yeah, one of the questions I don't think you heard when we were breaking up, but does Wayne Hill's turtle operation have a name? This is a question that I'm just dying to know, and I just can't seem to get an answer. So if anyone in the chat can help me out, is it just Wayne Hill's Turtles, or what is his business name? Can you hear me, Matthew? It's like Matthew has turned into slow molasses, and he can not hear me. So Matthew, why don't you try to log off and log on again, and see if
You were breaking up there now.
Yeah, yeah. Totally. You're totally frozen for a long time. So, um, yeah, for whatever reason, I don't think we're getting a great connection with Matthew tonight. So, Matthew, I'm gonna turn off Matthew for a little bit. Matthew, why don't you try to log off and log on? But I want to hear from the other people that were at Daytona. What were some of your favorite turtles that you saw? One that I saw. Well, I didn't see it. I heard someone say there was some Noto Kellys there, which is a fascinating turtle from Malaysia and Borneo, I believe. Which I've been into Borneo. Okay, Matthew's back. Let's get him. Okay, let's try this. A new connection.
All right.
That sounds good. That's a lot better.
Okay.
So I'm trying to figure out, and Christopher Richard said it's just Wayne Hill, but like Wayne doesn't have a retail business name for his turtle sales or anything like that. It's just Wayne Hill's Turtles on the table. Got it. So tell what were some of your favorites that you saw at the entire show?
So there was a Galbenifrons that was really pretty.
Okay. Old hat. I used to see those all the time in my local pet shops.
Oh yeah. I loved seeing the Yucatan box turtles and Mexican box turtles at Wayne's. Some spider tortoises, and then the sheer number of Cahulan box turtles, radiated tortoises. I mean, almost every table had a radiated tortoise. And that just made me sad because I couldn't buy any of them, and like I wanted to go see if like there was anyone making fake IDs out in the back, but I didn't. I was tempted.
Kyle says he fell in love with his Cora trifasciata and the Cahulan. So that's
yeah, yeah. The trifasciata that's just a really pretty turtle. I mean,
Yucatan box turtles are pretty interesting. I don't know too much about them, and I don't see them very often. Oh, Michael Fatuvaswamy just texted me a picture of a big head turtle. Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Was that on Mark Cantos' table?
There were two big head turtles. I had two. I think they were both female. He was selling them both as a pair. I mean, as a pair of females.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did he have a price on it?
There were some flap shells. About the show. It's supposed to be all captive bred animals there. But guys like, well,
you saw some not captive bred animals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There were some certain people from New Jersey. Not even that far long ago. And they were there with some not captive bred animals that were pretty obvious. the vast majority of stuff, definitely was captive bred. I think there were some small things here and there. Some of this, a lizard person or a snake person had some tortoises that they didn't realize were wild caught. Yeah, the big head. That was
Look at that.
cool.
I tell you, I used to see these in my local pet store, fin feathers and furry things in Stowe, Ohio. They would have them in those 33-gallon long tanks, and they would have like 30 of these guys in there. And I would be like, why would anybody want that ugly turtle? I've never seen it in my life. They're just weird looking, and I would never buy one of those. That's what I thought. I could have had one for like 50
They're
bucks.
very
I could have had
neat.
10. Michael sent me some more. Let's check out. Oh boy.
Yeah.
Is that a Michael? Let's see. I'm gonna show more of what Michael's sending.
The reason I wouldn't
Look at that. What is that? I don't know what that is, Michael. Michael, you're gonna have to tell us. Or Matthew, do you recognize this? That's pretty darn cool. Um, I'll stop sharing for a second. Matthew, can you hear me? Yeah. No, we can't hear you. Matthew's connection is not great tonight, so. Oh, that was Noto Kelly's Platinota, a small one. So, okay, let's see see some of the others that Michael sent here. Let me share. Okay, Matthew's back. I've got some. Looks like some. Yeah, I can't hear you. No. Let's see what we've got here. These look like some rhino clemmies. This is like the Guerrero wood turtle or something like this, and I don't know what this one is, but those are super cool. And Michael got one more. Let's look at that last one, Michael. And here we go. What is that? I don't know what this one is. Michael is going to have to tell us. Let me share. Matthew, any luck? And that is that turtle. So put your best guess in the chat, and then Michael, give everyone a little bit of time, and then let's try to guess what that is. I don't really know at all. I have no clue what that is. So I'm going to go back and let's take a look at people's guesses. Okay. Can you hear me now? We can't hear you at all. Go out and come back in one more time. So, diademata and Pangshura tentoria circumdata. So that the last one. Oh, Anthony has joined us. Wow. Okay, Matthew. Oh, we've lost all sound for Matthew. Oh, we're just gonna have to figure this out. Michael says Anthony is way ahead, so yeah, we can't hear you at all. You can just like scream, say anything. It sounds like it was a great show, Matthew, and I wish we could hear you. I don't know why. Can anybody else hear Matthew? I'm guessing no. Oh, yeah. Sam says Matthew pressed the unmute button, but I don't think he's muted. I've got his sound up to 100, and so something is just not working. Yeah, Matthew, do you know sign language? I don't know. don't know. Um, your okay. Thanks, Phil. No sound from Matthew. So now he's frozen. He looks happy though. He's got his turtle poster in the background. He's got his turtle hat on. He's got a Hawaii t-shirt, and that is you're unfrozen. Michael says Matthew's wife is going to call you tonight to learn how you shut him up. So, wow. Wow. I didn't know Michael had that in him. I did not know. But apparently yeah, we can't hear you, but you could just keep voicing. Apparently Michael has been talking to Matthew's wife. So, guys, yeah, we unfortunately know. Where'd you get the post-it? Oh, the poster. Where'd you get the poster? Add it in the chat, Matthew. Michael must be angry tonight, says Anthony. He must be, Mr. Unicorn. It's backwards and fuzzy. I don't know. I can't even read that. Michael La something something. Michael is a jerk, maybe? Is that what it says? This is the best live ever. So let's end it. Let's talk about who we want to see on the show. Who do you want? What guests do you recommend? Because Matthew and I are Michael's a jerk. Yeah, I always knew that. I always thought about Michael. That T-shirt is from a Hawaii Turtle Club that made it all the way to Florida. Russ Gurley is coming up as a guest. We have him booked for 2 or 3 weeks. But who else do you want to see? Michael loves you too, Matthew. Who do you want to see? We want new people. Who do you know out there that's an up-and-comer? Cameron Lamb and Jeff Kasperick, a.k.a. Cameron Lamb and Fat Cameron Lamb. I'm quoting someone. Anthony would like to see Eric Goode. I am not going there. Anthony. Bring him on the Turtle Room, but I am not going to subject myself to the Lizard King. Jeremy Thompson says he's done too many podcasts, and I'm waiting for him to get in touch with me when he wants. So Cameron, that Ryan Dumas guy, listen to today's podcast, guys. Or we released it. Katie Griffin Bradley, Randy Betts, the Torch Stork. Anthony and him are friends, and that's a good Joe Exotic. Can we get him from prison? That would be great. Man, everybody loves Cameron. Cameron is like this mythical, magical person who just drops turtles from the air on everybody's footstep. And wow, that is just magical. Charlie Moorcroft, I think he would talk quietly and deliberately like this. And then I would also ask him some questions about horses. Cameron is a super sexy topic right now. Woo! Yeah, Mike Ogle. Yeah, Mike Ogle is great. Wow, I got so excited I moved my camera even here, people. I'm totally winging it here. Yes, not Mike Ogle ? Mike Ogle, yes. The other thing we have to balance out here is it more appropriate for this podcast, or this is not a podcast, this is a live show. You can come on and show your turtles. Okay, Matthew. Michael Ogle and who? Dan Pearson. Yeah. So at the TSA, Michael Ogle gave a talk, and I believe Dan was in the audience, maybe. And Dan works with Planicata. Yeah, totally. And I can honestly say I did not mute Matthew. I'm sorry, Matthew. Joel, is that Joel? Podrick says Jeremy Thompson. Podrick, I'm sorry. He said no. Hard not to love Cameron, even without the CPP. But hard to know that if you haven't been to the conference. But, I swear, last year I went to the conference and I saw Jeff Kasperick. I'd never seen Jeff Kasperick before. And I'm like, here's a bald dude with glasses, kind of looks like Cameron Lamb, and they must be brothers. Cameron is the son of the earth. The salt is salt of the earth, or if the earth. That doesn't make any sense. Kenan! I've actually emailed Kenan to see if he would come on. Jeff, yeah, so I like halfway through the zoo, Cameron is salt of the earth. Yeah, he's good. I did ask Kenan, so maybe if you guys leave comments on his YouTube channel, say, hey, why don't you go on the Two Turtle Tom show? Chris Hansen, the man can tell some stories. That sounds familiar. Yeah, Cameron. I think it's got to be Cameron. Chris Hagen, yeah. Chris Lekowitz. Yes, we got it. Chris Hagen, we got it. Chris Hagen, he is so cool, he doesn't even need an H in his name. That's how cool he is. So, so Anthony says that he's been asking Kenan for years. I've asked him once. I don't know, never met him, but I can certainly. I mean, he's got his own platform. Why would he want to go on this little show of turtle nerds? Share it with your friends. We got to get to 500 or 1,000. So, who I want to interview? But that's you, Anthony. We are cooler, of course. We know that. We don't live in Connecticut. What kind of state is Connecticut? Good luck with Ken. Hey, no, that's fine. It's fine. I totally get it. Yeah. Hey, I'm here because of Kenan Harkin, okay, people? I saw Kenan Harkin's video on my kid's YouTube channel in like 2017. I'm like, holy crap. That is dangerous. I cannot watch this channel anymore, or I will be stuck right back in 1999 with 30 reptiles in my house, and I'm there. So, Kenan's friend in New Jersey that has all those turtles and tortoises. Yes, Al Roach. Who knew about Al Roach? I had no idea about Al Roach. And then he drops Al Roach on us. Now, Google Al Roach and you'll find a little story about wood turtles. All would be good. Anthony says me. Thank you, Anthony. I think I would make a good guess. Yeah, he wrote the book on North America. He wrote a book. I don't know if it's the book. I know about Al. Yeah, got it. Al wrote that book on spotted turtles. Garth Brooks is a serial killer, says Matthew. Anthony is always a good time. I did consider kicking Matthew out and replacing him with Anthony, but I'm not going to do that. Changing snapping turtle water. He's waiting to hear from Chris Leone. Paul, Matthew can hook me up with Paul. Where are the bodies? We want new people too. I know all these people. Matthew's starting to scream and shout. I don't know why he can't leave chats, but he's not. and y'all must find some of this interesting because we still have 20 people watching. Juan is in the building. Yes. The families need closure. There's some crazy stuff going on here. So follow his tour dates and unsolved murders. This chat has been on fire the last 20 minutes. Heck yeah. We shut Matthew up and the chat just goes crazy. What do you know? Touch my turtle through the fence. This is actually fun. So, what we could do one night, I don't know what Matthew's doing. We could one night we do a serious interview, and then one night we just have me comment on your stuff. So, oh, Kevin is here. Everybody, say hi to Kevin the tortoise guy. Like right in the heart of Los Angeles, California. He is got a little turtle. Happy place. Mikey Ben says raw. It didn't start out this way, Mikey Ben, but it's turned into this. Free T buns. Yeah, don't know. Yeah, I don't know either, Matthew. And yeah, Kevin. Uh, Kevin dabbles in squirrels every once in a while. Um, so that's pretty interesting. I do, Kevin. I do wonder if your squirrels are fox squirrels or gray squirrels, or if you have a totally different species out in California. Yeah. What? Let's Matthew. Michael says, "Let's play." What is Matthew saying without him typing? Yeah. Okay. Hey, anybody else want to join me? Michael, you wanna join? I'll send you a link, and then we can play that game. Nikki is the second squirrel that Kevin has, and they're pretty cool. So I'm serious, Michael. Oh, I lost all the comments. I lost all the comments. I can't see them anymore. Oh, there they are. They're back. Nope, I don't want that. Um, Michael, I'm going to send you a link if you want to join, and then we can uh, do that. Uh, yeah. So hang on. Let me. Oh, yeah, Kevin, you have a heart of gold, dude. Uh, you really do. Um, we're gonna call. I'm calling him Michael. We'll see if he accepts. There you go, Michael. It's coming. Anthony can take over. He's big enough. He's quite large. He's in. Yeah. Give him a lease and a key. Well, no Michael yet. No Michael yet. Michael. Michael. Almost there. We're making television history tonight. I agree. I'm entertaining you enough for like 20 minutes to keep you here. Um, what's the best turtle? How about we throw that out there, okay? It's obviously hingeback tortoises. They're the best by far. You don't need to know anything else. Um, they're by far the best turtles and tortoises. Patrick wants some free beer. I don't think that's legal. I'm a rule follower. No, nobody else is going to disagree. Okay, Matthew says Russian tortoises. Um, Testudo Hermani. What? Chris Leone wannabe? Sam. What? Come on. Let's keep this going. Michael is feathering it. Okay. Successful stretch. And Malo Cocersus tornarii, the pancake tortoise. I think that's a pretty good choice. I'm not going to So Anthony's claiming that there's this Cora named Cora McCordi. Yeah, subspecies, Anthony. Subspecies. N- marginal species. Um, Kevin is originally from Boston, so he says, Digga! My 5-year-old Sulcata and Max is super friendly and smart. They're the best. So, um, Spangleri, Spangleri. Oh, the plowshare. Podrick wants the plowshare. Oh, Michael is copping out. There's a delay. There is a delay, Michael. So there's always a delay. If you want to jump in, jump in. We'll bring you in. Oh, Sebastian says twist necks. Do you work with twist necks, Sebastian? Those, I would tell you, I would get twist necks right here. Um, yeah, a banana split. That, yeah. Come on, Michael. Let's do it. We try fasciata. Try. I'm not the uh yeah Geomida. Twist necks all the way, says Juan. And yeah, the Taurus guy elongated. They're pretty fierce, so pretty cool. Yeah, Kevin's got Punk, Rhino Clemmies, um, you know, Reeves. Yes, Michael Reeves. They are the best. So, um, hands down, Reeves are the best. Michael wins. Michael wins the day. And that, folks, let's wrap this up. I'm sorry, Matthew. we, you're not freezing at all. I don't know why we can't hear you. I have no idea. You are muted now, and now you're unmuted. So thank you, everyone, for joining us tonight. Apologies that Matthew's internet. I don't know. I don't know. Someone. Eric Goode, I think, is outside your house, like yanking on your internet cable or something like that. He's like, "No, Matthew, we do not want Matthew." Okay, Matthew. Um, we're gonna end this now. Thank you so much. Yeah. Oh. Good night, everyone. We'll see you next week.